Hi, I'm Thomas Green, and this is episode 893 of Smash Course World History. Today we're going to be talking about Year 1, also known to those at the time as 2020. It has been 2 centuries since that fateful year, so let's do a review of all the events that took place way back when. To make things easier for our viewers, we're going to be covering the events of this year in the chronological order that they happened. That being said, it's important to understand that back then there were 12 months in a year, rather than the standard 10 we have today. Let's begin with the continuation of the Australian bushfires from December of 1 BC, which devastated much of the Australian wildlife, which to this day has yet to fully recover. Meanwhile, in the United States, former President Donald J. Trump authorized a drone strike on the Baghdad International Airport, killing Qasem Soleimani, a highly respected general, sparking outrage in Iran. At the same time, a new virus began to rear its ugly head in Wuhan, China. Though signs of a pandemic were clear, by the time most countries began taking precautions, the virus is in near full force. By the end of the month, the nation formerly known as the United Kingdom left the EU, a task their leadership had been seeking to achieve for 4 years since the initial announcement of Brexit in what was 2016, 4 BC for the modern man. Their absence did not last for much longer than a couple of decades, however, and neither did the UK, as Ireland eventually took control of the country, rejoining the EU and establishing the nation of Great Ireland. As the year continued, COVID deaths continued to grow, and around March was when the year began to really pick up speed in this series of unfortunate events. So much so, in fact, that we're actually going to do a quick lightning round of this month specifically. March 1st, Turkey launched an airstrike on Syria. March 13th, Breonna Taylor was shot in the crossfire by police who are not only out of uniform, but were also conducting an unwarranted house search. By March 17th, most countries went into lockdown, and most having enacted social distancing policies for safety. Not even the Olympics were safe, with the 2020 Tokyo Olympics being delayed until 2021. We all know how that turned out. The trout population never recovered. Well, that concludes our brief lightning round. Let's get back to how the rest of the year went. Come autumn, California decided to follow in the footsteps of Australia and burn to the ground. The fires were set off by a gender reveal party, whose organizers decided that using incredibly flammable pyrotechnics in the dry grass fields of California was a good idea. The air quality in California began to worsen, and for a time, the skies were tinted a bright orange, very similar to that of the period piece documentary Blade Runner 2049. Near the end of this year, former President Trump and the First Lady have been struck by a bad case of situational irony and what some would call karma, having caught COVID and being hospitalized despite their efforts to prevent it with their ingestion of bleach and hydroxychloroquine. Soon after this was the 2020 presidential election. In a neck-and-neck race, Joe Biden was elected the 46th President of the United States. For the time, this set a historic record for most votes cast for a candidate, until future 48th President Kanye Omari West narrowly beat it 12 years later. COVID-19 continued on throughout the rest of the year, and for 3 more years after, at which point the virus simply got bored of infecting the planet, as it was, quote, not as fun as they thought, since people were making it too easy by not wearing masks or vaccinating. In total, the virus amassed a death count around 8 million by the year 4 PCE. Soon after 2020, in the months following December, the United Nations would make efforts to address the international threat that former philanthropist Elon Musk had become. Prosecuted for his utilization of child labor in his cobalt mines, Musk retaliated against authorities by revealing a Tesla-branded war robot, manufactured specifically to eliminate UN delegates. Having escaped, he now resides in solitude at the peak of Mount Everest, and no UN delegate dares make the trek up the mountain, as those who do are immediately plucked from the ground which they stand by an Amazon.com death drone, provided to Musk by his friend Jeff Bezos. They are either flung off the mountain much like how an eagle kills a goat, or they are taken to an unmanned SpaceX Falcon rocket, launching them into space to occupy the Mars prison colonies. Those who cannot afford to go to Mars by their own will work in indentured servitude to Musk, along with the many, many IRS agents from the US who have attempted to collect Musk and Bezos' taxes. Modern experts estimate that the cost of the efforts made by Musk to keep from paying taxes is greater than the amount in taxes he actually owed. Well, this has been Smash Course World History. Be sure to tune in next time where we talk about nothing but the extensive history of corn syrup for 9.5 minutes. I've been Thomas Green. Thank you for watching.